Uh, Hello, YouTube modeling community. This is Rusty Rotor with a commission build update. I've gotten really far. It's basically down to some tedious little things and final assembly. So I want to let me grab a couple things here. I gotta find them. Hold on just a second, guys. Take a gander back there. Okay. So, I just get, like I said yesterday, I get sucked down this void of, once I get, in my spot, my zen, I just go. And like I said, it's just in my head. I'm not really going by any diagrams or anything else like that. It's easy to follow. So here's a good example, like on a firewall. There's molded in wiring and little brackets that hold the wires. If it's protruding enough, you don't want it too much, because then it'll look three-dimensional, and you don't want that, so to speak. But if it's just, it's visible, especially after you paint it black or whatever color you paint it, you can drill little holes at the beginning and the end where those little wires that are molded in run to. Then you can put, wire itself, real tiny wire, over top of that and put your ends down through the holes and get it tight against the firewall. And it resembles the molded in wiring. So it kind of looks like the harness has got, you're adding detail. So that's kind of what I've done. That's what I've been working on this morning, is firewall and a bunch of the other stuff, kind of, wrapping it all up. We are ready for the glass. I'm going to do it off camera. I won't do it on camera. It's just too tedious, and I don't want to get glue all over the windows. But this is what I was talking about. This is called, if I don't drop it, this is called the Zen vac pen. Now, you guys have seen it, soldering, whatever they're used for. I have no idea. I've never used one of these for soldering. But Lee took one of these and, bought one and started looking at it and, figured, hell. So he took it apart and he found that the components in here could be replaced with better quality product. Therefore, you get more suction, and better tips. They're real soft. You just clean these in like a little bit of Dawn dish soap and hot water and kind of just rub it. You can take a light toothbrush, real soft toothbrush, and kind of scrub it. Let it air dry to get any dust that accumulates on it off. But this sucker, you can put it on a flat surface. And I've got one here. I'm going to lick it because I haven't cleaned mine yet. And I can put it down on that windshield. And it ain't coming off. So when you go to put your glass in the body, I've got it on the wrong side, but just imagine, you got your glue down in just tiny little drops. Now, like I said, I use canopy glue because it dries clear. You can use the Mod Podge, Ultra Gloss, just little bits. You just want tiny little bits right now. And then you can use this because, you only got a couple inches of space to get your hands down in there and set it. This can be your tool to take that glass and set it down inside that body and get it right where you want it. You gotta be gentle, and then just push the release button. And then the glass comes off. So, it's just as simple as that. You hear it click, it's on there. To release, there's a little release button right there. And, it'll come off. He also makes a smaller one. Now, these have been remarketed. They're under his name. This one's the same way. Only, I'm going to clean that one too, because like I said, I haven't cleaned these in a while. And, I can put that on that windshield. and pump it up. I like using this one the most. The big one, there's probably better applications you could use for it, but this little one is the key. And he sends little extra suction cups, smaller ones, different sizes. You can kind of get it all as a kit. You get both these and this. I will have his link to his Instagram page. You can direct message him there and ask him about how to get it. Tell him Rusty Rotor sent you, and you'll get a discount. These aren't very expensive, guys. I think they're like under 20 bucks, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think they're under 20 bucks for a set. Like I said, you get extra silicone tips. These are way above improved from what you just go buy off the shelf at Hobby Lobby or, you know, Michael's or any place like that, or hardware store. It's not the same thing. It is, but the components and the internal guts to this thing are completely redone. They're not, it's not, you go buy one off the shelf, oh, I get one for 10 bucks. Yeah, go get it. It's not going to be the same as this. This is completely redesigned. Lee spent, I don't know, a year or two fiddling with this thing, taking it apart and getting on the internet and finding other components that were a better, higher quality and higher grade parts, and then rebuilt it. And then he I don't know all the business terms of it, but, you know, remarketed it, and it's got his sticker on it. You know, the ZVP, Zen vacuum pen. This little one is great. Like I said, you just get on there and pump it up. It only takes one time, and then you push it again, and it releases it. So it's, you know, one button action. So you put it on there and give it a good pump. It's on there. Just push it, and it releases. So when you go to even set those little quarter glasses, you know, cozy wings and the back quarter glass windows, this is excellent for that. It keeps your fingers off of it. You know, trying to fiddle with it. You know, I always do one window at a time anyways. And then I let it set up for 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then I come back and do another one. So it takes a while. That's why I said I don't want to do it on camera. But these little things are excellent. Like I said, Lee Barrett is his name. It's Zen Modeling. He does have YouTube. I think it's under Zen Modeling, but he hasn't posted a lot of stuff. Like I said, his platform is mainly Instagram. He just had surgery, so he's, you know, going to be laid up for a little bit. But if you guys are interested in these, like I said, I don't promote nothing on my channel if I don't know that it works. If I tell you it's good, it's because I've used it. Now, I'm not taking them apart or anything like that, just to verify. It works. That's all that matters. And it was cheap. And it's a very useful tool for, you know, anything. Hell, I mean, if you want to pick your body up and keep your fingers off of it until you get a pair of gloves on, you can put this on the roof of the car. It'll pick the whole car up. You know, and that's where the big one comes in handy. If it's a smooth roof. Now, a vinyl top would be a little bit different story. But, you know, multiple uses. And it's just a great little tool. I mean, look at that. I mean, it's high quality. This is all metal. It's aluminum tube, metal. You know, and like I said, just put it on there and one pump. And just barely touch it. And it releases. So, you know, when you go to put your windows in, these two things and the extra accessories you get with it, it's worth every penny. And like I said, I believe they're under 20 bucks. He'll give, you know, say Rusty Rotor sent you. You're interested in the Zen Vac pen. I know it's probably coming backwards to you, but I don't want to turn this around yet. His link will be down in the descriptions for this video only. Go there. Give him some prayers and let him know you're interested in this and that Rusty Rotor sent you. It's a must-have tool in your arsenal for hobby. And it's, I mean, it's for anything. And even like, you know, holding this little panel and setting it down in there, it's like giving you a third hand. So, I find it very useful for multiple tasks that I'm doing. I've used this not on every build, but probably every other at least. And depending, I get in a circumstance where, oh, I can't get my hand in there, and it's moving around, and I can set it right down where it needs to go. Take my other finger, sit in there and put pressure on it, release the pressure, and it's right where it needs to be. So it's a great tool, guys. So it's two of them you get, and extra tips. Go check it out. Like I said, you know, even with the discount, it's probably going to be under 20 bucks. And like I said, I'm assuming I don't want to mess with him because he's trying to relax and heal from the surgery. So I believe that's what he told me before. And you can't beat the deal. You know, one of these is like $10, $12 at Hobby Lobby, and it's not as good as this. Trust me, it's not. I don't care what anybody says. He tested this against like 5, 6 other brands. This beat him. You know, a lot of guys are, oh, I use mine, I have no issues. That's fine. If you're happy with what you got and it works, everything, that's great. You know, just be one-minded, you know. Always look for something that's a little better, a little higher quality. It's going to last. I've had these for 3.5 years. Never had any issues. You know, just sometimes it won't stick. You just got to clean the tip. That's it. That's all it takes. And then, you know, best thing is keep them maybe in a Ziploc baggie to keep the dust off of the tips. You know, but they work great. So let's get over here. Figure out how to do this here. All right. So with the commission build, I guess it's no better way than just to show you guys. We'll start with the body. I can do that this way. So you can see, got all the panel line wash in, all the chrome trim is done. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect, but it looks good. It looks really good. I got the little decal on down there, the little Chrysler emblem. Marker lights are all done. I still got to clean up one of the marker lights, the chrome around it. I hit it with my finger and kind of smudged it a little bit, but it's an easy fix. In panel line wash down in there. I chromed the top of the shock mounts. You know, over the cowl here, you got it black washed. Headliner is done. The dome light is in. Rear bumper's on. Got the little rear backup lights in. And the gas cap. The only thing I got left to put on is the wiper blades and the door handles. Those are the last two things that go on this. The very last two parts. They're over here on the cloth. Get that out of the way so it doesn't get nicked up. Got the marker lights, or the turn signals, painted on the hood. And the hood's all polished. It's going to get a final polish, guys, so if you see a fingerprint or a smudge, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's going to get a final, and that's where the Novus comes in handy. And then a real fine polishing cloth, and I just go over the whole thing other than the roof and get all the fingerprints and everything off of it. This we'll have to flip you around and go to it. So you can see I've got the engine in it. The exhaust is hooked up, the drive shaft is hooked up. There's the pulleys, the belts are on. There's my scratch belt bracket to hold the alternator since it's pinned. Same way with the power steering pump. There's a, you know how cars are, they have the hollow rod that the bolt would travel through and go back to the block. Same way, it's pinned. That takes your focus off the pin and it brings it over to here. Oil filter, got the decal fix on it. It's all in. Steering gearbox is in. Exhaust is hooked up. I just got to touch up some spots. And we're going to zoom in. So we got our throttle linkage on, throttle cable. That goes back and goes through the firewall. I always leave everything quite a bit long just in case I run into a issue where it's got to be manipulated. breather cap is in. The positive wire from the alternator to the battery is just kind of hanging in the breeze here. Got our vacuum line going from the advance back to the intake, and on the other side from the valve cover to the carburetor, or the plate to the carburetor. Fuel line is in, and see if we can see it. Yep, comes down and goes into the fuel pump. We've even got the hold down for the distributor in place. You know, guys, I go back through before it's all done and clean everything up, touch up little paint spots where it needs it. Right now I've got the, you see them down in there, there's my looms. I gotta put the spark plug wires in. I had to get all these, the alternator wires ran back through, keep them underneath before I do the plug wires. We come up here, I've got the decals on the upper core support, both kind of painted. I still got to paint the bumper stop for the hood. Get my finger there. Ooh, right there. The little bumper stop. Like I said, the wiper blades are painted. I got to get the sway bar on. The radiator hose is painted. I chromed the clamps around it. Clutch fan. License plates are on. There's the hood hinges. Those go back to J. Tailpipes are blackened on the end. There's the door handles. There's the side mirror. Those are all tailpipes, handles, mirror, and what was the other thing? Oh, wiper blades are all the last pieces to go on. There's the coil. That'll probably sit on the top of the fender well. Get this out of the way for right now. There's the MSD ignition box. Let me get my drill bit off there. Why is that even stuck to it? There we go. So you can kind of see the green and brown wire go back through the firewall. These come down and around, and it'll kind of be buried underneath the master cylinder. And then I'll run wires from up underneath the master cylinder around the fender well to the battery. So this is what I was talking about. So everywhere there was molded in wires, I replaced them with real wires. Now you can kind of see a wire back in here. I got to clip that. Got to clip that wire off. And then my heater hose is running through here. And all I do is kind of hit where it shows a clamp with my chrome pin and go over top of the wire. That way if you look at it straight on, it looks like the clamp is going over the wires. I ran the wires up to that little solenoid there. That's all the relay over here, and then back into the firewall. Throttle cable goes into the lower hole. The green and brown wire will go in through the upper hole, and then the ignition box will be mounted right there. Got the brake lines coming off and going down. They're not getting around to each wheel. We're not getting that detailed. I still have to touch up the paint on the master cylinder and run me a vacuum line off the side of the booster over to the intake. That'll be one of the last things I do also. And then I'll use brass and do the top plate of the master cylinder and the aluminum look down here on the bottom of the master cylinder. So it's still got to be detail painted, but I wanted to get it in place and kind of dry fit, make sure everything fit and nothing was in the way, and it's all good. Still got to do the seat belts. I've got the material laying over here. Let me take you back out now. There we go. See the ribbons here. I got the that's how I keep all my seatbelt stuff. It's in little containers. And label it that way I know what it is. Let's move some stuff here. Alright. And you can kind of see underneath too. Yeah, the shocks are in. Went with blue. Monroe made some blue shocks back in the day, so I wish I had some little decals I could have put on there. We got the diff cover on. Exhaust is hooked up. Like I said, I just got to touch up where it connects, and a little spot right there by the end of the transmission. Touch up a little black there. Just so some little touch ups, and then make all my final connections on the wiring. So it's important, so you get a plan down and what wires you want to run. And it's just cheap little Hobby Lobby stuff. I think you get a pack of this stuff for like 8 colors for like $12, something like that. Hobby Lobby. I mean, I've had this crap for 2 years and I've still not even gotten halfway through it. And I keep all my fall off pieces that I cut. Even though I cut it long, whatever I clip off, I put in a little baggie and I put it up because I can use it for the next build for a little short run, or what have you. Oh, also I got the front valance. I got I don't know if they're turn signals or they're fog lights, whatever, but those are in. The core support in the radiator, I got to paint the cap. I put a hose in. It'll run down and down the side of the radiator, and so if it overheats, it would drip down onto the ground. And then I'll take some aluminum paint and kind of dry brush the backside of it a hair, and same way as in here. That's next after we get done here. Battery. So I got the positive cable, negative cable. That goes right in. What I do is I kind of notch right here at the end of the molded in terminals, notch it down, and then I use a tiny drill bit and I go in there that way. And I strip the wire back, so the bare core wire that's inside is what goes into there. I use super glue and I let it set for 10 or 15 minutes before I touch it. I used what was that? Autolite decal, and then the kit decal that came with it on top, and painted the caps red, so it looks like an old school battery. Just a little tiny detail you guys can add. Why that's not focusing? Anyways, don't need to keep going on it. It's just simple. This is that wire I bought. It's 30 AWG AUG wrapping wire, red and black. It's perfect size for battery cables, and other detail wiring. Just depends on what it is. Not every wire on a real car is all the same size. They're all different gauges according to what circuit is handling what. Normally I'd run a wire from that down to the starter. In this case, it's just everything's so compact and tight you wouldn't even see it, so it's not even worth doing. If there was more of a visible point to it, I'd run the ground from the starter up to the block, and then run the positive cable down to the starter. My wires from the alternator will go back to the bottom side of the ignition box, because everything's tied into this new MSD ignition. So his alternator, the starter wires, everything that is related to the starting of the car and charging is all going through the MSD ignition box. Even though everything's not going to be in there, it's just too tiny of a part to put all that in there. But that's the look I'm going for. Let's see. Let me put my cap on here. I did get the air cleaner done. Got the decals on it because it is a 440. So that turned out pretty cool. Something a little different. And like I said, now everything's been I've got wires where I need them. Kind of letting everything dry. Then I'm going to get on touching up the master cylinder. That way that's done, that can dry. And get the seat belts in. They're just going to be straightforward, stock looking seat belts. And then pretty much, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be all devoted to the ramp truck and starting the NASCAR. But come Thursday, we should have a good idea of how the car looks, the interior in it, the glass in it, the body married to the chassis, and hopefully have all my connections made, or where they're going. everything pinned down, touched up, and then the only thing that should be left is the few little components, which I'll do off camera, and then I'll just do a quick video of the reveal of the finished build. I gotta make some room and clean up some stuff over here to make room for that, because right now I've got a mess everywhere. So I hope you guys like it. It's hard for me to film me doing the detail. We will eventually get to that where I'll just set it up and maybe time lapse it so you guys can see, see everything, how I'm doing it and everything else. But it's basic. You just got to get a good set of the micro carbide drill bits. Get them on Amazon. You get like 8 of these packs for less than $20. So, and they're handy. You just got to be careful of them because they'll break. But they're perfect for the small wire, and so you don't have a big hole trying to stick one little single tiny wire in, and you can see it, that's messy. And you always step up a size. If you got 2 wires, you want a little bit bigger hole, and those bits give you the availability to do all that. But if wherever you're molded in wire, even if it's on your wheel wells, if you see molded in wiring going across there, pick a point, point A and point B. And even if the straps are molded in, you can drill a tiny hole there on both sides, run your wire, and then take a little piece of wire and go over top of that and stick it down through where the clamp is, or wire loom, whatever it is, and pull it down there and get up underneath there and twist it and cut off the excess, and that one little wire will look like a strap holding the wires down. If this doesn't have, because it's molded into the body, there's no wires molded in there that I saw. Let me double check that. No, there's no molded wires. But usually, sometimes there's wiring that's molded in, and it looks like there's a little strap there. Well, on each side of the wire that's molded in, you can drill a tiny little hole at point A and a point B. Put your wires in from A to B. Like I said, give them time to dry and set up. And then where the other 2 little holes are, you're going to put like a silver piece of wire over top of your wires and stick it down each one of those holes, and then bring them together like you do a bread tie, and twist them together real good, and then snip it off and fold it under, and that'll give the appearance of a strap holding your wires in place. And I will demonstrate that technique on another video. It's just like this car doesn't have it, so there's no point in doing it. So when we get to one that has it, I add that kind of detail, then I'll show you, how I do it. And I'm not the one that's invented that technique. I've learned it from other people and seen how they do it. So those videos are out there. You just got to search. I think that's about it, guys. We're going to call this quits. So, thank you to my subs, new and old. Hit, thumbs up, thumbs down. Drop me a sub. Hit that bell notification so you know when my videos come out. I think after this week, we're pretty much going to be done with the Charger, and we're going to pull down the 58 Impala, and we're going to get right into it. We're not stopping to take a breath. We're going to rock and roll. The end of the year is, a lot quicker, especially when you're not working. Time flies by, and I want to stay on task and get these projects done and bring you guys along for the whole ride. So if you got any questions, drop them in the comments. My email is always down there. You can send me an email. We can discuss more about a certain thing. I can, describe it a little bit more the best I can. Or just, you don't feel comfortable leaving it in the comments, drop me an email and let me know there. I'm flexible, guys. Again, thank you to Mark, Hobby Nut Models. His link's down there. You guys hit that, before you go somewhere else. If you're watching my video, just take a second, go down and hit that link, go to Hobby Nut Models and look around on there. You might find just what you need and pick you up a little something. Ryan's is always going to be down there. Go check his sites out, get you a good set of wheels for your next build. Zen, Lee Barrett's link to his Instagram page is going to be down in the descriptions on this video. Go there, check it out. Those little vac pens, I'm telling you what, it's the difference, especially when you get real thin glass and a real tight area, and once you set your glass, kind of let it set up and tack up. Then you can come back around it with the tip of the glue and add a little more here and a little more there. That way it really holds that window in good. But it's just like a hands-free type thing. It's a little easier to maneuver. Again, Zenvac pen. This is the one you'll primarily use. You'll get some extra tips. Dawn dish soap, hot water, it cleans them. They last forever. And the extras are just different sizes for both. And then it's a set. So tell him Rusty Rotor sent you. Give him some well wishes. Hope he gets better. And I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. This is Rusty Rotor. I'm out.